Hey, how's it going? Glad to have you back with me this week. You remember a while back I showed you some of the tiny miniature figures and ships from the Innerspace or Strike Force figure line. The figures were kind of like this, and here I'll show you. There's Playmates regular 5-inch Chief O'Brien next to a tiny, I think they're about 3/4 of an inch tall. That's a Geordie there, in case you can't tell, because there is no way I'm going to get that little bitty figure into focus. Well, I've got a few more ships for you this week that they made in the line. The first one is actually one of my favorites. It is the Shuttle. It's actually also the closest ship to being in scale with these little figures. First off, the back door does open just like the big one that Playmates made did. And I can't get that out without opening it. So, then what it does is it opens up like that. And we got Counselor Troy inside. Now, one thing about this line that I think is kind of odd is that almost none of the women figures were allowed to have a bending waist. As you see, Geordie, he can sit down, but Troy, she's not allowed to sit down. So, the inside of the Shuttle, it comes with the little sensor pod type thing, just like the big version did. The benches fold down just like the big version did, and the front chair does swivel around. And you can take, and obviously Troy's not allowed to drive because she can't sit down. So you can put Geordie in there and close it up. And this is the other cool thing about this, is on the bottom it actually has a little hook thing so that you can take and have the Shuttle come down and land, and it picks up that little sensor pod. So that is the first one. I'm going to hold on to Geordie. He'll be useful to me as we move forward. So the next ship, appearing in the first season of The Next Generation, is the USS Stargazer. Of course, this ship, its predecessor recently just showed up on Star Trek Picard. And also has 4 nacelles, looks really cool. Mine has gotten a little bit warped over the years. The nacelles are certainly not as straight as they should be. And, but it's still there. Now, the cool thing about this is that this actually has the sensor dome pops down so that you can set it on your shelf and have it stable. But then you open up the saucer, and we've got a Captain Picard and Q in there, which we'll get to them in just a few moments. Why it came with Q, I don't know. Q wasn't in the Stargazer episode, but oh well. So you see it has this console pops up, the little handrail pops up, and then here's Captain Picard, and he actually comes with his phaser in the firing position, so it looks like he's got a lightsaber. And he can be seated there in the command chair, and then you can get other figures like Geordie to come and work at the console here that's way too tall, or that one that's way too short, or he can just kind of stand at the railing wondering what he's supposed to be doing. So I will pop those back in, fold that up. And one thing that amuses me about this, you can't really see it, but you see how there's light shining in? That's because there's actually a window right here on the bridge section, as though Captain Picard, and if you were to get a flashlight and actually look, it's really, really hard to see, and I'm just not going to be able to get it on camera, period. The little Captain Picard minifigure's head is actually sticking up into that little area. It's so funny and weird. So the last ship today is the USS Hood. This is a ship that kind of really didn't get seen much on the Next Generation. Well, it's hardly at all, really. But it was seen a few times. It was talked about a few times. The episode where they set up the blockade around the Romulan neutral zone, Riker commanded this ship, and it was an Excelsior class ship. They've made this in the same design as the Enterprise B, with the ridge around the edge. The bottom is very, very flat so that it can sit on the table. The warp nacelles are obviously way all janky now, because it's 20 years old. But they kind of get fixed when we pop it open. So the front of the saucer pops up like this, and the back of the saucer pops up like this, and inside you've got the bridge of the USS Hood. You see the captain's chair, a helm console. You've got a Master Systems display back there with a little arm, with a little chair rail, kind of like that. And the size scale is actually fairly good there. And then if you flip it around, you actually do have a view screen. Got a Klingon bird of prey on there. And there's some little pop open, like, work areas in here, and they do have little screens on them. Man, they are just teeny tiny, like that. And you see there's one more screen right there ahead of the helm console, and I'll put my little Geordie in there so you can see what he looks like there. And that's what he looks like in the captain's chair. And you could close this with the figures in there. That's one of the convenient things about the way that this is built, is that you could usually keep your figures inside. Alright, well, that's it for today, and I will see you next time. If you enjoy my videos and want to see more, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Also, you can support the show by signing up on Patreon, or head over to Zazzle to pick up prints of my artwork, prints on canvas, t-shirts, and other merch. You can find me on social media. For more information and updates on the channel, all info is below. If you didn't enjoy the video, why are you still here? Do you want a song? Ba, ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, them, 3 bags full. One for the master, who can screw himself. You can listen to somebody else.